Nobody warns you about the annual review. It arrives with a smile and a folder. You walk in like it is normal. Your manager slides a paper over. There it is again, 3%. You smile, you nod, you say thanks. You leave feeling like you won something, but you did not win anything. You lost a little ground. The company already knows that truth. They have known it for decades. Picture a simple raise in dollars. You climb from 70,000 yearly. You bump up to 72.1. That sounds like progress, right? Now stack inflation beside that raise. Imagine inflation runs about 4.2. Your dollars buy less than last year. In real life, you took a haircut. You are poorer than last year. Next year, you can be poorer still. This is not random bad luck. The machine is doing its job. Gen X knows this feeling first. They followed every rule on paper. They worked late and skipped trips. They are realizing one brutal thing. The treadmill was tilted backwards. On Max Invest, we do math first. We respect your time and your intelligence. We will not waste minutes with fluff. We will not confuse loudness with truth. We will translate spreadsheets into plain English. We will keep the examples grounded and practical. Today we unpack 3 ugly truths. Truth 1 is about purchasing power quietly. Truth 2 is about hiring markets moving faster. Truth 3 is about your options and leverage. Your raise can be wealth extraction. Compensation math can make you grateful. Grateful can still mean falling behind. People who see it early retire differently. Everyone else waits for a promotion. If this feels too honest already, hit subscribe for more math over myths. Drop a comment with your industry. Tell me your typical raise band. We read every story on Max Invest. This topic is not about hating your boss. It is about seeing incentives clearly. Corporations are not family, legally speaking. They are machines that buy labor hours. Your feelings can be real and still costly. We will walk through the emotional trap first. Then we will translate it into clean math. After that, we will name the system pattern. Finally, we will talk about your next moves. You do not need a finance degree here. You need honesty, paper, and a calculator. You need a little courage about your career. Keep a notepad open while you listen. Write down the moment you feel seen. That moment is data, not drama. Now let me give you a metaphor. Think about your salary like hotel pricing. You book a room in 2015. You pay $120 a night. That is your starting salary story. Every year the hotel says good news. We are raising your nightly rate. 3% sounds generous enough. In 2016, you pay $123. The numbers creep higher year by year. You feel lucky you keep the room. But the identical room next door now lists at $148 nightly. That is what new guests pay today. The market moved while you stayed loyal. You sit inside feeling proud of 3%. Someone off the street negotiates fresh. They get better terms than you instantly. This is your career in miniature. 3% is not keeping you competitive. It is often the minimum to keep you quiet. It keeps you from asking awkward questions. It keeps you from comparing new hire pay. The hotel lobby looks friendly on purpose. The contract still favors the house. Your career lobby works the same way. Policies sound fair until you read closely. The fine print lives in market benchmarks. Let me show you the real numbers. This is where the lie lives openly. These are rounded, illustrative examples only. Your real life will have different bumps. The shape of the story stays consistent. Imagine you start in 2021. You earn $80,000 a year. That number looks clean on a screen. Screens hide stress loads and late nights. Screens hide politics and quiet fear too. Your employer gives you 3% yearly. Some years you earn a bigger bonus too. Bonuses can help, but base pay still matters. Base pay sets anchors for your future moves. Base pay whispers in every future offer talk. By 2027, you reach 96.5. That is 16,000 more on paper. It feels like a real climb. Now, average inflation runs near 4%. To keep 2021 buying power, you would need about 97.6. You are short around $1,000. That gap is not dramatic on paper. It is dramatic when it repeats yearly. It shows up in rent, food, and gas. It shows up in daycare and insurance, too. Small gaps become a lifestyle ceiling. You got raises every single year. You gained experience and responsibility, too. You still afford less than day one. You are not climbing a ladder upward. You are sinking slowly in quicksand. 3% can feel like movement. Movement is not the same as progress. Maybe you think that is bad timing. Maybe you blame the inflation spike years. Inflation is not one villain with a face. It is a crowd of small price changes. It is rent, healthcare, childcare, and fuel. It is the bill stack that never shrinks. Your raise is one line on one page. Inflation is a whole spreadsheet against you. Fair enough, so widen the window. Start in 2010 at 80,000. Stack 3% raises every year. Year 1 feels fine because momentum feels good. Year 5 feels fine because habits feel safe. Year 10 feels strange if you look closely. Year 16 feels heavy if you compare markets. By 2027, you reach 122. That is a 52% headline jump. Over that era, inflation totals near 39%. Your real gain is only about 10%. Spread that across 16 long years. That is not a career trajectory. That is a rounding error with feelings. Time is the ingredient people forget here. 16 years is not a short season. That is career prime for many families. This is what Gen X is seeing. They did the loyalty playbook correctly. They stayed. They swallowed merit increases. They look at accounts and feel broke. They also feel a weird guilt sometimes. They wonder if they failed at adulting. They did not fail at showing up daily. They showed up when it was inconvenient. They paid tuition, mortgages, and surprise bills. They kept teams stable during chaotic seasons. The guilt is the story misfiring in public. The story says hard work equals automatic wealth. The math says incentives shape outcomes harder. You might think the fix is simple. Just pay people 4 or 5%. That is not the real problem. The problem is a slow wealth transfer. It happens quietly across your career. You do not notice until you are tired. You notice when prices refuse to pause. You notice when your budget feels tight. You notice when travel shrinks, not grows. The raise still looks normal on paper. Normal can still mean falling behind quietly. The transfer is not always theft outright. It is often a slow drip instead. It is a gap between market and memory. Memory says you are doing fine. Market says your role moved upward. Companies budget total compensation like a pie. Picture 100 people in a building. Leadership says the pie grows 4%. That does not mean 4% each. It means 4% for everyone combined. Some people get 6, some get 0. Sometimes roles disappear to balance spreadsheets. Sometimes teams shrink while work stays steady. The remaining people absorb the extra load. Extra load rarely becomes permanent pay forever. It often becomes a story about resilience. Resilience is a compliment that does not pay rent. New hires must be paid near market. If nobody pays market, nobody joins. If market moved 7% in 2 years, your stacked raises might land near 6. You can trail the new hire quietly. The gap can widen while you stay polite. Politeness does not shrink the market rate. The market rate moves whether you like it. The company saves money on your loyalty. Your loyalty is a discount you give. They know it, and you should too. This is why internal equity debates get messy. 2 people can do the same work. Their pay can diverge for hiring timing. The new person is not the enemy. The timing game is the pressure point. Let me tell you about a guy. We will call him Dan for privacy. Dan joined a tech shop in 2008. He earned $90,000 as a senior developer. For 18 years, he averaged 3.5 raises. In 2027, he makes $161,500. Dan feels proud he almost doubled salary. Here is the uncomfortable market check. A senior developer with his years can clear $218 in many markets. Dan sits $56,000 below that benchmark. That is real money every single year. Dan finally interviews and gets an offer. The outside number lands near 210. He tells his boss he might leave. They say, "We really value you, Dan." 2 weeks later, they counter 187. Dan takes it because it feels huge. He thinks he won the negotiation battle. From the company view, the math shifts. They were underpaying market by $56,000. They add $25,000 and keep him. They still buy 218 work cheaper. Dan feels like a winner today. Relief is a powerful drug in negotiations. Relief can make you stop asking questions. Relief can make you ignore the remaining gap. The spreadsheet still says otherwise quietly. Counteroffers can feel like love letters. They can still be a bargain for them. Your win can still be their discount. If you are in your 40s now and you stayed a decade somewhere, you might be Dan without knowing it. When you are young, you believe meritocracy. Work hard, hit goals, stay late. The system will reward you fairly. Promotions will track your growing value. By your mid-40s, the spell breaks. You start doing math on everything. You compare your pay to your stress load. You compare your pay to your commute hours. You compare your pay to your health bills. You compare your pay to your family time. The comparison gets honest really fast. The long-term VP makes little more than the outside hire with less tenure. Your 3% did not beat life. Your 401k looks smaller suddenly. Calculators assumed smooth 7% returns forever. Real life includes sequence of return risk. People fork into two emotional paths. Some rage quit and burn bridges loudly. Gen X often chooses the quieter path. They move money into boring index funds. They pay down houses with steady intensity. They wait until the math flips friendly. They are not performing anger for cameras. They are fixing the balance sheet privately. Quiet moves are not weakness here. Quiet moves can be strategy with discipline. The internet loves loud quitting stories. Wealth often grows in boring decisions. Companies are not evil cartoon villains. They optimize what they are measured on. CFOs get credit for controlling labor cost. HR gets judged on turnover metrics mostly. Turnover is a metric, not your life story. Your life story still needs enough oxygen. Your manager splits a fixed raise budget. They spread raises like thin peanut butter. Just enough keeps most people calm. Not enough helps anyone sprint ahead. Nobody in that chain owns your inflation. That is your spreadsheet, not theirs. When you see incentives clearly, you change. You stop hating individuals in the hallway. You start seeing the machine instead. The machine wants productivity at minimum cost. Your job is to play smarter. Smarter starts with information you can verify. Smarter includes a calm plan for talks. You can practice your script out loud. You can role-play with a trusted friend. You can list wins without sounding defensive. You can ask for range transparency with confidence. You can walk away from bad deals politely. Walking away is easier with savings behind you. Let me give you two workplace scenes. Mike has 12 years inside one company. He earns $110,000 yearly. He trains new hires during busy seasons. He cleans up messes nobody else wants. He knows every system and every shortcut. Sarah arrives from a competitor next month. She brings fresh ideas and new language too. She also brings leverage from outside offers. She negotiates 136 for similar work. She sits 2 desks away from Mike. Mike finds out because people always talk. He asks his boss for fairness fast. The boss says Sarah had competing offers. We had to pay the market rate. You are a valued member here. Mike earns a 4% retention bump. He lands near 114 after the fix. He is still 22,000 behind Sarah. He simmers for 2 months, then adjusts. That is scenario 1, quiet resentment. Scenario 2 is a different Mike. Same facts, but he stays silent. He updates his resume that weekend. He applies hard for 30 straight days. He pulls 3 offers and picks one. He leaves for 148,000. Now the company must replace Mike quickly. Replacement often lands near market anyway. Onboarding friction can cost serious productivity. They might spend more than keeping Mike earlier. The system does not reward pure retention. It rewards people willing to walk. Retention bonuses exist, but timing is cruel. They often arrive after trust already cracks. Sometimes they arrive after an offer letter lands. Someone always says what you are thinking. If everyone job hops, would society break? Maybe, but most people never leave. Most people take 3% politely. Politeness can be a habit that hardens. Habits can keep you smaller than your skills. Skills can grow faster than your paycheck. They stay because switching feels uncomfortable. Life always gives a reason to wait. Kids start school, parents get sick. Equity vests in 6 more months. Those handcuffs are rarely solid gold. Companies count on inertia and fear. They count on sunk cost thinking too. 3% keeps most people from looking. That silent majority subsidizes the minority leaving. It is a tax on loyalty. If you want more people to see this, subscribe to Max Invest and share it. Comment loyalty tax if you felt that sting. Your story helps someone feel less alone. We build this channel from real comments. If you know someone stuck in silence, send them this video with kindness. Facts land better than shame ever will. Also remember, your health is not a luxury. Sleep matters when you plan big moves. Burnout makes people sign bad deals faster. A tired brain accepts crumbs more easily. Protect your energy like an asset too. Now picture a conversation in HR. Employee asks why the new hire earns more. HR says the market moved since hiring. Costs went up and talent is competitive. Employee asks why their pay lags then. They already do the job at higher skill. They already train teammates on busy weeks. They already carry stress that is invisible. HR says we review pay on cycles. We factor market conditions every year. Employee says you just admitted market moved. The room feels polite and totally absurd. Politeness is how many companies hide math. HR says your pay fits your performance band. The employee gives up and HR wins. Picture a finance meeting next Tuesday. The room has coffee cups and tight smiles. The slide deck talks about cost control first. The slide deck talks about talent second. Talent is expensive when it becomes urgent. A manager asks for $20,000 urgently. They need to retain a top performer. Finance asks if flight risk is real. The manager says they have not quit yet. Finance says, let us wait for notice. If we raise everyone from fear, costs explode. The manager says backfill costs even more. Finance says that is next quarter's problem. This quarter has a budget ceiling only. 6 months later, the talent walks anyway. Nobody connects the dots in public. The meeting ends with polite nods again. The spreadsheet stays messy in real life. So what do you do with this? I am not here to make you mad. I am here to show the exit. Rule 1, check the market honestly. If you stayed 4 years without promotion, you are probably underpaid for your skills. Benchmark the role, not just the title. Use blind Glassdoor levels.fyi. Get a real range, then compare yourself. If you sit 10% below median, start a serious conversation or interview hard. Treat job hunting like a part-time job. Run the search for 90 full days. Do not quit your search early. Document wins and metrics like a professional. Practice talking about impact without bragging wildly. Confidence grows when facts back you up. If you are nervous about interviews, rehearse. If you hate networking, start with 1 coffee. If you fear rejection, track attempts weekly. Volume teaches faster than pride protects you. Keep a simple spreadsheet for every application. Note the role, date, and follow-up tasks. Treat it like a sales pipeline for you. Your career is a product you sell cleanly. Rule 2, change how you see salary. Salary is not a trophy for effort. It is a price to keep you seated. Your value is what someone else pays. Once you believe that, leverage changes. You stop thanking them for 3%. You start negotiating like you have options. Options come from proof and from practice. Proof is your impact written in numbers. Practice is your reps and conversations calmly. Rule 3, build your exit plan early. Talk to a tax pro if your situation is messy. Talk to a fee-only planner for clarity. This channel is education, not personalized advice. We share frameworks, not your private instructions. Max your 401k strategically. Not because you love the match story, because tax-deferred wealth compounds for you. Cash savings matter for optionality too. An emergency fund is freedom with padding. It helps you say no with calm. Grow investments until independence feels visible. When you do not need the job, your words and choices get sharper overnight. You can leave on math, not tantrums. Leaving can also mean switching teams calmly. Leaving can mean contracting if that fits you. Leaving can mean building income outside slowly. The point is choosing with eyes wide open. Gen X is not bitter for no reason. They are the first generation watching clearly. The old social contract quietly got shredded. Pensions became rare fairy tales slowly. Gold watches became memes, not plans. They skipped vacations and trusted the latter. They believed slow and steady wins always. They believed loyalty would compound into safety. Now retirement math shows a brutal gap. The gap is not just about account balances. It is about time you cannot buy back. It is about stress you cannot price fairly. Calculators say 2 million feels comfortable. Their balance is 380,000. They feel the gap in their chest first. They feel it when kids ask about college. They feel it when parents need more help. They ask how many 3% years remain. The answer is the gap never closes cleanly. Labor compounding loses to capital compounding often. Boring index funds can beat wage creep. Think total market style investing, not hype. Think consistency over lottery ticket trades. Think fees low enough to ignore daily noise. Diversification still matters more than picking heroes. Consistency beats chasing the loudest ticker online. Automation beats hoping you remember each month. 8% on investments versus 3% wages creates a different ending over decades. That is not a cute slogan here. That is how the math behaves. This is why behavior beats brilliance often. This is why patience beats panic too. Small choices repeat until they become wealth. Small excuses repeat until they become regret. Choose the boring path on purpose sometimes. Boring can be the most radical move. So we return to the conference room. The chair feels the same as last year. The carpet looks the same under fluorescent light. Your life outside might feel totally different. The paper still says 3% politely. The paper slides across the desk again. 3% smiles up at you politely. You have two honest choices today. You can smile and say thank you. You can accept a loyalty discount quietly, or you can treat 3% differently. You can treat it like information. It is a ransom note with manners. Politeness is not the same as fairness. Fairness is a story for break rooms. Math is the story for your bank account. Companies hope you skip the math. They hope you fear the interview loop. They hope comfort beats your curiosity. For most people, that hope pays off. You are watching Max Invests on purpose. You are already doing the math. So move with a plan and leverage. Move because numbers say you should. Not because you want drama online. You deserve a career story with honest math. You deserve sleep, savings, and steady options. You deserve to stop guessing about your pay. If this episode saved you one bad year, subscribe and hit the bell for the next one. Comment the last year you checked market pay. That single comment helps everyone calibrate reality. We will keep building lessons that respect your time. We will keep turning noise into numbers. Stop playing their game on their terms only. Build your game with clean math and patience. Keep learning, keep asking better questions weekly. Keep comparing your life to your values honestly. Keep building a money plan that fits reality. Thank you for spending your time with us. This is Max Invests, and we will see you soon.